Chester Markle, who has put 6 points on the scoreboard tonight, with the field goal, kicks off. This will be Margene Atkins, deep in the end zone. He'll stay there. Touchback. The Jets will take over, first and 10 on their own 20. They have been unable to generate much of an offense. They have no score.
Well, let's see what they do now. O.J. Simpson is of the opinion, based upon Buffalo's experience a few weeks ago against the Pack, that the Jets should be running sweeps and try and tire out the larger Green Bay defensive line. As I said, they're a huge team, and O.J. said Buffalo had success with sweeps, which Namath has not been calling, apparently not in the game plan.
All right, and as we watch Joe Namath, the setbacks are John Riggins, who, keep in mind, has only had 2 days practice coming into this game. The other back is Emerson Boozer. Riggins fumbles the ball, and Aaron Brown misses, but big Bob Brown doesn't.
Also got to see a Joe Namath block.
So, John Riggins, perhaps the delay in his reporting due to contract problems might be showing. We saw him fall earlier on a pass pattern this time.
Just
that was
drops
a good
Frank.
pitch out.
Yeah, it just hit him right there. He took his eyes off of it.
Quite frankly, that contract problem was only one of many the Jets have had, and the Jets may be an unsettled team for that reason. Certainly, they have not looked like a disciplined, cohesive, fast-moving, aggressive team tonight.
And this is the down that Green Bay likes to blitz on. Second and long yardage is second and 15. The ball resting on the 15. Here comes Boozer. Petch with a fine block. The rookie gives Boozer a good block, and Boozer picks up the first down over the 30 to the 32.
Frank, they did have a blitz. It came from the other side that time. The Jets had the right play call. They went to their left. Boozer picked up some fine blocks. You look at it again. Here's Riggins leading the play. He gets a good block called Carr, number 53, following right along in there. I don't know how they did that. It's pretty good runners right there themselves.
Interesting that the block was thrown on Carr. That's one of the very things O.J. was talking to me about. He said you could run over Carr.
First down and 10. The ball at the 32. Atkins, one wide receiver, top of your screen, 26. Markham to the left. And here comes Riggins. And Bob Brown forces the fumble.
Picked up by Green Bay.
Hill picks it up. Will it be brought back? Yes, it will. But Green Bay has recovered another fumble. Bob Brown was the man who made that responsible, the big 275-pounder, the 8-year veteran. Watch him come in and really pound Riggins.
Well, that's 2 fumbles in a row for Riggins. Maybe that layoff did do something.
It couldn't have helped him.
That was Carter in there, too. I mean, Fred Carr. I'm calling him Carter. I'm sorry. That was Hill in there that did it.
All right, Scott Hunter at quarterback. Good Steigers out to the left. John Steigers, his setbacks, 2 of the best in football. Here's one of them, MacArthur Lane, banging right up the middle, grinding yardage behind good blocking. Here's MacArthur Lane, gets inside the 30 to the 29. Defensively for the Jets, they remain that front four. Ed Gallagher, 85, John Little, 57, Richard Neal, 81, Mark Lomas, 84. The linebackers, Atkinson in the middle, 62. Baker, 51, Ebersole, 55. The outside linebackers, Dallas Howell at one corner, number 20, Burgess Owens, 22, Steve Tannen, 21 of the safeties, and Rich Sowles is on the right corner, he's 46. Second down and 3. Ball just inside the 30 of the Jets. Here comes Brockington, getting a good block from MacArthur Lane, and how they do block for each other. First down, inside the 25.
Well, at the start of the game, Green Bay wasn't moving with that quickness, that precision on the ground against the stacked Jets defense. They've gotten off much more swiftly here. 2 plays, first down.
Sheer speculation, however, but a lot of times a fumble will do that. That old momentum we talk about that changes jerseys, that fumble right there. The Jets seem to have found something. They had a good long run by Boozer and fumbled. Now the Packers picked it up, and they're going the other way with it.
First and 10 on the 24 for Green Bay. McGeorge and Garrett are both in, the tight ends. And again, good yardage. Brockington this time, Scott Hunter in his 3rd year out of Alabama, alternating his 2 strong running backs. Gained over 1,900 yards between them last year. Working behind a good offensive line, too. Ken Bowman is at center, 57. Gillingham and the guards, Gillingham 68, Luke 62, and those 2 big tackles, Hines 72, Hayhill 77. Second down and 9. Gain of 1 for Brockington. This is Lane. Oh, and what a terrific block by Gillingham.
You betcha, man. You're right, Frank. You just talked about those guys up front. They are doing a good job. Gillingham is 68, pulling guard. Let's watch him. MacArthur Lane's got the ball. And there is a shot, man. Took him from the top, took him all the way back. That was Howell coming up trying to force that one.
I guess when you take on that kind of a runner, you just get on and hope for the best.
Right. Parasophis is in there now, Frank. You might make mention, he didn't really start. He's playing right now.
We saw him just briefly before the end of the first half. But it's third down now, a long 2. Scott Hunter with the play fake, looking for Rich McGeorge, and Dallas Howell was all over him. And I mean, he was all over him, but the referee was right there to look at it.
And so Mr. Chester Markle emerges again. There's Rich McGeorge, the tight end from Elon College, #1 draft choice just a few years ago. No, I didn't say anything illegal there, Giff.
I didn't say it was illegal. I said he was all over him.
If anything is illegal, George was pushing him, but he slipped down a little bit.
All right, Markle with Whitby holding. Markle has already hit from 9 yards out and 37 yards out. This will come from the 24. Flags fly.
Well, we'll see how this is called.
Boy, that hurts.
How many mistakes can one team make? That's the story of the New York Jets tonight. Apart from the absence of continuity of offense, any continuity of offense, their mistakes have been consistent.
You know, the Packers jumped off sides 4 times, and it's taking advantage of those mistakes. It's really doing. I thought the Jets would be able to do that, I guess, on 2 different occasions. The Packers jumped off sides and gave the Jets first downs. They couldn't do much about it. Let's see if Green Bay can.
All right, New York has been penalized 4 times for 37 yards. Green Bay 6 times for 30 yards. First and 10 now for Green Bay. They're up to 12 of the Jets. They lead at 13-0. We're just underway in the third quarter. Here comes Brockington. Gillingham with a great block. Luke with a great block. And Brockington down to the 6.
You see those knees pump once he got that hole with the aid of that block, the acceleration.
If we see this again, you're going to see classical guard play. Bill Luke 62 and Gillingham 68. Look at that. Now the late Vince Lombardi would have loved that.
Yes, it's his football. Now look at that. That's what I meant.
Yeah, not bad running.
Not bad.
They're well drilled. This team is put together.
Gain of 6. Second down and 4. Ball at the 6. MacArthur Lane very close to the first down. Stopped finally by Richard Neal and Al Atkinson.
They play your alma mater in a couple of weeks. Should be a good game, Frank.
I see it as no contest, Harry.
You may be right, but with the wrong team.
The Giants have really put it together.
Yeah, they're a vastly improved ball club. Incidentally, one game we really wanted to show the fans tonight was Denver's upset victory over Cincinnati. We apologize to the folks of Denver logistically. NFL Films simply couldn't get it from Denver to Philadelphia in time and then feed it to us.
Third and a long 1, and particularly that guy that threatened you. All right. Lane close, or rather Brockington. Brockington pounding in there. Baker's there, along with Gallagher. And he will not have it.
No, didn't make it. John, I wonder if you'd explain as we watch this play again. No.
Now, the Atkinson's guys getting in there at middle linebacker position. They couldn't get out to block on him. Baker is in there, and Gallagher is in there, too. He just had, again, there was not enough people in there. Too many people were there. Not enough of them were blocked, so they're a little bit short. What was it you want me to explain?
I want you to explain to the folks in Cincinnati that we'd love to do a Monday night football game from Cincinnati. We've got a whole host of telegrams here, but we don't make up the schedule. The person to write is Alvin Pete Rozelle, the beloved commissioner of the National Football League.
I thought you did have a lot to do with it.
All right, short is Brockington, so Chester Markle comes on. He will kick from the 10. He's 2 of 3 for the night. 1 a 9-yarder, 1 a 37-yarder, and now 1 from 10 yards. Burgess Owens with pressure.
Little
Chester
Dave
Markle.
chip shot. Well, that was.
Chester Markle hitting from 10 yards out to extend Green Bay's lead to 16-0. We'll be back in Milwaukee right after this message.
What has Sheraton done for you lately? Sheraton's been building you resort hotels on the world's most beautiful beaches. From the Puerto Rico Sheraton on Condado Beach to the Maui Sheraton in the Hawaiian Islands. So before you head for the beaches, set yourself up at a Sheraton. Just call 800-325-3535. That's what Sheraton does for you now.
You know what it costs to put a new engine in a car like this? About $400. You know what it costs to put in a new Fram oil filter when you get your oil changed? About $4. Now, if the guy who owns this car had done that regularly, chances are I wouldn't be here now doing this. Well, the choice is yours. You can pay me now or pay me later.
John Brockington, in his rookie year, he went over 1,100 yards. Last year, he went over 1,000. He has 46 tonight. Great All-American from Ohio State. And Chester Markle is having himself a night. He's hit from 10, he's hit from 9, he's hit from 37. He'll be kicking deep to Margene Atkins on the left and Cliff McLean on the right. The Jets unable to mount any sort of offense. Packers probably responsible for that, but this is Cliff McLean. And he'll get down. Oh, and all kinds of
He grabbed
he wasn't
it.
very sneaky about that. I think it was Larry Krause. We'll wait and see.
Really what?
Larry Krause involved in some sort of a collision there with a Jet.
I don't know who that was, for sure.
Kind of funny, though.
Was.
Holding against the Jets.
All right. We're keeping an eye on
That's 3 times, Don.
Kenny Ellis there. We're watching Kenny. He's playing he's your safety valve. He's in. Kenny's been on those kickoff teams before, man. That kid's smart. I'm going to give him a lot of credit. Don't run down there and run into everybody just on purpose. My goodness.
Another reminder, tomorrow night you can see the action-packed drama based on the exploits of the famed French Connection detective Eddie Popeye Egan. The ending will leave you breathless. They tell me. Watch Egan tomorrow night at 8, 7 o'clock Central here on ABC. First and 10, New York. No points in the scoreboard. They trail 16-0. 9:06 remaining in the third quarter. Namath firing low over the middle. Rich Castor comes up with it. 12-yard gain, first down, the Jets.
He blitzed that time, Frank, which gave a little bit of man-to-man coverage back in that backfield.
Well, they know what they're going to see, I think, from now on, Don. Joe knows he has to put the ball in the air.
Yeah, he's in lots of trouble. We're trying to figure out what's happening to the Jets, as you mentioned before this last kickoff. I think the defense has had an awful lot to do with it, but they really haven't looked too sharp, Frank. It seems like even their cadence is not going off at the same time. There's something a little bit off there.
They're not a cohesive football team, at least not at this point in the season. Anything but.
From the 24 on first and 10. Thrown low to Jerome Barkham, incomplete. I will remind you that Rich Castor can turn a football game around quickly. He caught 13 passes during preseason. One of them was an 85-yard touchdown. The other a 73, a 72, and a 42-yard touchdown.
This Green Bay team with its defense is a hard team to do that against, I'll tell you, Frank. And when a team has had the holding penalties the Jets have had and the fumbles, Riggins 2, Castor 1, Boozer 1, hard to make a case for them.
I'm just making sure Don didn't doze off.
I'm over here. I'm in good shape.
Second down and 10. The ball at the 24. Barkham out left. The draw fake to hold the linebackers. Rich Castor turns the corner, gets up to the 41-yard line, ran out of bounds there by Al Matthews.
Oh, that's pretty. That was one where the receiver never breaks stride. And, Frank, that's really something. You know, that's got to be fun to catch when you run out there. Let's see Castor come from his tight end position. He was in flank a little bit close, coming across the middle. Never broke stride. The ball's there. That's pretty. That's pretty.
To me, it was just a replica of what you did so many times.
You're right again, Howard. You do know a lot.
Costner with 4 receptions, 48 yards on the night. 1st and 10, another first down for New York. Going deep for Barkham. It's a little bit of a butterfly, and Ellis and Barkham watch it as it's out of bounds.
I don't think you'll complete many, if any, of those against the Green Bay Packers, but not with that guy at the helm and what he's put together in just 2 years. Dan Devine.
One of the problems, Howard, what you know is you disguise it so well with trivia.
Oh, don't be bitter, Dandy.
2nd down now and 10. Ball at the 41. Frank Gifford along with author Howard Cosell singing Minstrel Don Merriman. 8:04 remaining in the 3rd quarter from Milwaukee. Green Bay out in front of the Jets 16-0.
Look out.
Ouch.
Right.
That's
Bob
the
Brown.
end of that.
Bob Brown weighs 275 pounds. Oh, that's too smart.
But again, they're getting good pressure on Joe. This was, we'll take another look at it. It's really coming from everywhere. You see Brown, he is the guy we mentioned earlier that they really count on to instigate that pass rush. He's big and he's strong. He went through the nose of the center that time, took Rasmussen with him.
I said Randy didn't look forward to the evening's assignment with any relish.
Yeah.
Bob Brown was the MVP of the Packers last year. Oddly enough, played 2 years of semi-pro ball before he got to the Packers. Was an all-pro bowler last year. 3rd down now and 23. Damon believes he'll have to go with the draw or the pass. You can expect a strong rush no matter what. Well, that's one of the light ways out. Gain of about 6. Far from the first down.
Strange call, Frank.
Well, he might have been just a little bit shaken up from being pounded out there by Bob Brown and didn't feel that he could get the pass off.
That could be it.
Well, it's a terribly conservative call at this moment of the game. It's almost a give-up call.
All right, Julian Fagan on to do the punting. Ellis and Steigers have dropped deep. Fagan kicking again to Steigers. And coming down was Robert Woods, the number 2 draft pick. To make the tackle, the flag goes down at the 35, 34-yard punt. There's no foul. Clipping Green Bay.
Wow, those legs look familiar. Of course, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks in training for the forthcoming season, and Jabbar, as always, the positive fulcrum of their hopes for a title. Maybe Namath could use Jabbar in there as a wide receiver. Just throw it up in the air, alley-oops fashion, the way Tittle used to, Frank, to R.C. Owens.
Might not be able to throw it that high. Will return. Well, a little confusion down on the field.
Well, how's it going so far, Frank?
Well, it's going awfully well for Chester Markle. To recap the scoring, Markle hit early on a 9-yard field goal to make it 3-0 Green Bay. Then McGeorge scored on a Scott Hunter touchdown pass from 19 yards out. That made it 10-0. Markle came back and made it 13-0 just before the half from 37 yards out. Then he put Green Bay out in front 16-0 with a 10-yarder a few moments ago. Green Bay again with the ball. This time, Hunter hands off to Brockington. Again, that good blocking. Wow.
Well, that's what happens, Frank, to a smallish defensive line, even if you five-man line it. Hey, there's a great shot of the crowd here at Milwaukee County Stadium, taken from our Goodyear blimp. The attendance tonight, by the way, 47,124. 759 no-shows. Taken together with the startling number of no-shows yesterday, over 50,000 no-shows for the first 13 games since the blackout was constitutionally lifted. A year ago, only 21,000 no-shows with the blackout.
A little bit frightening. Second down and 3. MacArthur Lane turns the corner, and Burgess Owens, the rookie from Miami, the number 1 pick of the Jets, comes up to make the stop. Lane gets maybe a yard. Dan Devine, 16 years. As a college coach, 13 of those at the University of Missouri.
Next to him is Raleigh Deutsch, the assistant coach, who has succeeded Bart Starr and who's calling the signals for the Green Bay Packers. Play-by-play.
All right, here's a down that's kind of interesting to watch Green Bay. Third down, along 2 or 3. Ordinarily, you'd expect a team to pass the ball. Green Bay has not done it all night. Of course, they do have a 16-0 lead, but they have confidence in the running game, and here it comes. Gillingham again with that big block, and good pursuit, however, by Ebersole. Elliott now in the game for the Jets, number 80, also moving over from tackle. Well, we'll see. Did he make the yardage? And we'll see with the measurement.
Referee Bernie Ullman there, Frank, number 6. You can see the change. That's the umpire, Tom Hensley. Ullman broke some ribs last week in a game, or I guess it's 2 weeks ago. He was talking about it before this game. He says, man, the guy was scoring for a touchdown, and I had my arms up in the air signaling the touchdown. Came right across and got broken ribs. Tough all over that field out there.
It is. Dan Devine in his first game in the NFL had his leg broken on the sidelines as a coach.
Best block Bob Hyland, now the Giants, ever threw.
Oh, you're ugly.
No,
Howard.
Bobby's a nice boy. He was a classmate of my son-in-law's. Wanted to
That
take
won't get
my
you out of
oldest
it.
No,
daughter.
that's not going to get you off of it.
All
That
right.
was an ugly thing to say.
No,
Totally
it wasn't.
uncalled for.
No.
Actually, it was not the best block he ever made.
Number 1 draft pick for Green Bay. Had to be pretty good somewhere. Whitby. Oh, and Burgess Owens almost gets it, and what a tremendous kick. The Ferris-Opus will field at his own 15. High, and was it ever long? Down there to cover, Mike Donahoe. 56-yard punt by Whitby. 5-yard return by Ferris-Opus. We'll return to Milwaukee County Stadium, where the score is the Packers 16, the Jets 0, after this brief message.
I own this station. I'm doing all right, you know, getting by, but I got to do better. You see that record? Brand new. And I got to pay it off. And I got a wife, and she's got a mother. Does she got a mother? I mean, if she doesn't go to Florida to see Mother dear, I got a slight domestic problem on my hands. So you come in here, I can be very friendly. Right? All right. I'm going to wash your front window. I'm going to wash your back window. I'm going to wash your side view mirror. I'm going to wash your hands if I have to. And I'll tell you something else, brother. You get yourself a Sunoco credit card, and you'll get special deals from Sunoco on just about everything I sell here. Look, I'm not doing these things to be Mr. Nice Guy. Like I said, I get the station, the wrecker, the wife, a little problem in Florida. So try me. Go ahead. Try me. I can be very friendly.
Hey, boss. Florida calling. Collect.
Everywhere we go, we get the signs.
That's kind of unusual.
2 great heads.
2 great heads, Howard and Milwaukee Beer. See there now, Howard? You're right up there with right the best stuff. Watch Joe Willie get creamed by Jake Green.
Well, somebody was a prophet, because Joe Willie has had a difficult night tonight. 1st and 10 now for the Jets. Namath will begin the movement from his own 20. Here comes Riggins. Sweas with a block out in front. Riggins turns the corner. That's about 2 or 3. Jim Carter moving over from his middle linebacking position to make the stop. And mind you again that this Thursday night, the mouth, Bobby Riggs, goes up against Billie Jean King. Interesting match. It'll be live from the Astrodome in Houston, Texas.
You two guys are going to be down there, aren't you?
Yeah, we'll be there. If Billie Jean can make Bobby run, she's got a real shot.
3 out of 5. That's a little different than with Margaret Court.
I'm going with Bobby Jean.
2nd down and 8.
You never heard, don't you?
Back. Look at that. Great catch by Barkham. Flag goes down.
What do you think that was, Frank? Was it offensive or defensive?
Well, the finger was pointed, accusing finger, towards Kenny Ellis.
Well, it was completed anyway. That was a big one for him. That'll get him back out of the hole. Let's watch it again. Barkham made a good catch on this one.
Pass interference ruled against Green Bay, and what a spectacular catch it was.
Man,
Well, I'll tell you, as a receiver, you know you're going to get pounded when that happens.
You know, I didn't see interference that time. Looked like me he was going over the shoulder and
I think it was ruled against Castor in front of the play.
Castor. Oh, it was? I didn't see that. Okay.
1st and 10, the Jets. Moving from now their own 42. Riggins, Boozer, the setbacks. Out to Castor, low, and he can't hold on to it. Al Matthews, the man covering for Green Bay.
And look at how frustrated Namath is. Disgusted with himself on that underthrow there. Not having a very good night. He's 9 for 16 in the figures with 9 for 17 with 116 yards gained. But the fact that the passing statistics, the percentage of completions is over 50% doesn't mean anything. Not really revealing.
Dandy, excuse me, Art.
Well, he's relatively placid there. He's got the game well in hand.
Here's the down now. Green Bay has been blitzing. Top of your screen is McLeod, number 56. He's on the weak side. He's the man that's been coming on 2nd and long yardage. And it's 2nd down and 10. Nope, they do not. And Namath going for Barkham. And a great play by Ellis.
Oh, that was pretty.
That's why they only gave up 7 TDs last year.
Frank, it's just great position. These guys have good quickness and speed, but he was with Barkham all the way. Barkham had about a step on him. It could have been completed had it been absolutely perfect. We've got to take another look at it. But, man, you just don't get that guy. He was right on him. Timing, I don't believe it could have been completed. That thing was in there perfect. And another look from my kid. Man, we got cameras everywhere. Would you look at this Barkham run? And would you look at Ellis tipping that thing away? Beautiful play.
You know, he's giving away 6 inches to Barkham. Great field position. Okay, 3rd down and 10 now. Eddie Bell has come in. Split out to the right. Barkham is out to the left. Ellis again with Barkham. Buchanan with Bell. Over the middle to Riggins. McLeod is there first. He makes the stop short of the 1st down.
They're not sustaining anything. They really are not.
For a team reputed to have such potent offense, they sure are not. I know it's just the first game of the year and they can develop in the later games, but they've got a lot of developing to do and they've got to face up to it.
Here's Julian Fagan, Dame from New Orleans. Off season, he'll be kicking again, as he has been all night, to John Staggers, trying to keep the ball away from Kenny Ellis. And he's been very successful. Ellis, of course, led the NFL last year in punt returns. We'll be back at Milwaukee County Stadium right after this.
Chauffeurs, airline pilots, car owners, a barber, a diamond cutter. You've seen people like these on TV demonstrating Mercury's great ride in test after test. But there'll be no ride test today. Today, a great ride is not enough. Today, you also need a car you can afford to operate. The 74 Mercury Marquis is designed to be that kind of car, with steel-belted radial tires, standard, to give you thousands of extra miles over non-radials. And Mercury is designed to save you time and money on scheduled maintenance with innovations like solid-state ignition. Incidentally, Mercury does not require premium gas. Today, a great ride is not enough, unless it comes in a car you can afford to operate. Mercury Marquis, the great ride, tuned to 74. At the sign of the cat.
All right, Green Bay doing a methodical job of the New York Jets tonight. Nothing spectacular, nothing dramatic, but they lead 16-0. 2 minutes, 54 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Chester Markle with 3 field goals, 1 touchdown pass, Scott Hunter to Rich McGeorge. That's the scoring. The Jets have not even come close. First and 10, Green Bay moving now from their own 20. Here comes Brockington, easing in there behind Dick Himes and Gail Gillingham, picking up his 5 or 6 yards.
Well, we're looking at Tommy McLeod, the earlier identified rookie corner linebacker up from Minnesota, 3rd-round draft choice, was a significant figure early in the game, all over the field. And indeed, it was when Jim Nance failed to pick him up on an early blitz when the Jets engineered their only real drive of the evening that drive was in effect stopped. McLeod getting to Namath and creaming him good.
2nd down and 5. Playing now with 52 yards. Gets the call again, gets up, well, maybe picks up a yard or 2. Mark Lomas.
Over Milwaukee. That's a pretty move.
The first time in 3 Monday night games in Milwaukee, Dandy, that we've seen the moon.
Pretty one there tonight.
When was it, 2 years ago, that Meredith tried to drown you and me under the umbrella, Frank?
Mary Poppins right here. About 3 inches of rain that night.
That was before I got to know you guys.
You got to know us, you'd have drowned us, right?
That's not a happy face.
No, he's had a tough night.
He's got a lot of thinking to do.
3rd down and 3. Scott Hunter with the play fake, looking for Staggers, overthrows it. Staggers was wide open. That's one of the problems, I think, that Dan Devine is concerned with.
They're going to have those a very real problem, it seems to me, against better teams, Frank. They're going to need much sharper passing.
That'll be 4th down. Ron Whitby will come out to do the putting for Green Bay. Bob Swias and a little stretching exercise on the bench. Verisopoulos led the AFC in punt returns last year. Will get an opportunity from the 17. Larry Krause, as he always does on the Green Bay special team, down to make the stop at the 21.
That Whitby is kicking the ball, isn't he, Frank?
That's his second 56-yarder.
He sure is. I wonder how Landry feels now about trading Ron away and going with Marv Bateman, a lad from Utah. Not that Bateman's a bad kicker, but I've always had great respect for Whitby. But
I think Whitby beat Landry in golf one too many times.
Don't forget, Thursday night, a match of, well, whatever you call it, it's going to be something. All kinds of color taking place in Houston in preparation for Bobby Riggs and Billie Jean King. 1st and 10, New York, moving from their own 21. Markham moved out to the left by Namath. Lots of time to throw. Castor turned completely around. He lost sight of the ball. Al Matthews back covering, and Green Bay has been really covering these receivers of the Jets all night long.
And, of course, now they're playing drop-back defense. You can't connect with at least you can't have any reasonable hope of connecting with those long bombs. It's been said so many times it's a tired lexicon about the zone defenses and the diminution of the possibility of completion of the long bomb. But that's apparently what we're going to see now.
All right, look for more diminution.
Diminution? Oh. I'm going to make you men articulate.
I doubt it.
On 2nd down and 10 from the 21. Beautifully thrown to Barkham. He catches it at 39, 1st down. And boy, he threw that, Don, before Barkham even broke.
And before that diminution got him, too. I'll guarantee he was right on that one. He can throw. And it'll be brought back. Here's Barkham again. The ball was, as you mentioned, Frank, was thrown before he made his cut, but that's why you spend a lot of hours before and after practice and during practice on working things like that. The timing looks as if the penalty is going to be against the Jets. No.
Had a little lines-keeping problem there. They had moved the lines. The linesman had moved the line before the penalty was called.
Right. The way they keep that thing straight, they think, oh, that's going to be too hard for me to explain. Well, I'll try. No, I'm not going to. But they do keep it straight with a little bit of ribbon that they put on that yard marker in between where these lines are going to keep. God, you're a good guy.
Illegal motion against the Jets, nullifying the fine game by Barkham. On second down and 15. Looking again for Barkham. Right in the middle. He's hit hard, but he holds on. Kenny Ellis slamming Barkham to the turf. Well, that'll make a receiver think twice about the next turn.
Yes, it will. He got up slowly, and he's feeling it.
Show you what a receiver goes through with this team. Jim Carter playing off Castor and getting into the feel of the play. It'll be third down now and 4. The ball at the 27. Joe now 11 for 20, 132 yards. Both backs circling out of the backfield. Good protection. Barkham doesn't hold on to it, but Kenny Ellis does. Ellis intercepting. Barkham getting back into the play to make the stop.
Well, obviously that was a well-thrown ball. Ellis was right there, but a little bit behind. We'll watch it again. Here's Barkham. He's coming down. Ellis is with him. Right in there. Now, wait a minute, Barkham. Well, he didn't realize that Ellis had caught the ball. He was very disgusted with himself for dropping it because that's just what he did.
I wouldn't want to say it, but I wonder if he was thinking about the time before that he had gone up in the air and caught it and was leveled.
Now, I think that's a harsh thing to say, Frank.
I couldn't agree with you more, Howard. That's really ugly, Frank. There you're going. How about that?
That's it.
Okay.
All right, first and 10 for Green Bay. Take it back, Mrs. Barkham. Brockington, good hold, good running, inside the 30 to the 27. As time runs out in the third quarter. Brockington running out of his shoe. That is the end of the third quarter with the score. The New York Jets 16, the Green Bay Packers nothing. We'll return after this word from our local stations.
A sparkling comedy, Adam's Rib, Friday at 9:30, 8:30 Central.
Away from the explosiveness of professional football, Tommy Nobis is a gentle giant, quietly doing what he can to help retarded children lead a more normal life. If you can type, drive, talk, or handle a fishing reel, there's a way you can help. To find out how, call your local...
John Brockington on the first play from scrimmage after that Kenny Ellis interception. Picks up his customary of 4 or 5 yards, and that's what he's getting used to tonight, both he and MacArthur Lane. The Jets now have turned the ball over 3 times to Green Bay. Green Bay has not had 1 turnover themselves this evening. It'll be second down now and 5. The ball resting on the Jets' 23-yard line. One touchdown in this football game, a pass from Scott Hunter, 19 yards to Rich McGeorge. The rest of it has been Chester Markle, 9, 10, and 37-yard field goals. The reverse to John Staggers, and watch out, the picket line is set. Oh, safe. Staggers lost his footing at the 15, and it looked like for a moment he could go all the way in.
There's the young man we looked at a few weeks back, Dandy. I suspect the long-term hope of the Packers for a Super Bowl championship. Jimmy Delgado, acquired from Miami, a southpaw quarterback, but a brilliant thrower. And a kid with enormous self-confidence. Wanted to be traded, didn't want to sit behind Greasy and Morrow. I think he's got real big league ability.
The game he got hurt, Howard. He had really been going well that game, I'm told, and they do have a lot of promise for him. They hope he's back in there before too long.
Staggers got the first down. It'll be 1st and 10 for Green Bay. They're moving from the Jets' 15-yard line. MacArthur Lane pounding the right side for a couple. John Elliott making the stop.
Well, there's Weeb Eubank. Here's a man who's won it all in both leagues. Nobody else can make that claim. Whose coaching ability is unquestioned. This is his last year. He wants to go out the right way. But you have to wonder, in journalistic fairness, how the problems of contract signings have affected him and this team. The Jets still have 6 unsigned players. Only within the last 10 days have 4 other key players signed. And they do appear totally uncoordinated tonight.
On 2nd down and 8, Don Highsmith, number 32, comes in as a setback. Placing MacArthur Lane. Scott Hunter gets hit as he releases it over the middle and almost intercepted. Ellis Howell in there to break it up.
Frank, Don, you've both played a lot of years of pro football. What would be your thinking on of the impact of that contract situation on this club?
Really hard to say. I think obviously it's hurt Riggins, as we've seen tonight. I'm not taking sides one way or the other. I don't know the exact details of it, but it obviously hurt Riggins. We saw him fumble. We saw him slip on a pass when he was wide open. He wasn't ready to play football.
I think it has to have a definite effect, Howard, because it's these guys are playing. They get paid money. A lot of them feel that they're not getting paid enough. So it's I think it subconsciously has to affect their play.
On 3rd down and 8. Over the middle. Brockington holds on.
How he did it, I don't know. That ball was one of the hardest places to catch it. You can see from a very good spot there. It was thrown behind him. He was going in one direction. It's a short pass. Has to be thrown very hard. Fantastic catch.
Parasopoulos was the man that had administered the blow to Brockington. Brockington stays in. Don Highsmith on the left has come back out of the game. MacArthur Lane comes back in. Hunter now 6 of 13, 108 yards. Brockington dancing, looking for a hole, pecking along the line of scrimmage. Finally gets about a yard. Piled up there by the middle of the Jets line. Al Atkinson more than likely on the bottom of it. You know, the Jets have only been shut out 4 times in their entire history, and they're threatening tonight. We have 11:35 remaining in the game. Last time they were shut out was back in 1971 in their 4th game. Hard to believe a team with the offensive explosion that they have shown really in preseason. Nothing else but Barkham and Castor has not been able to get on the scoreboard. That's the case. They trail 16-0. 2nd down and goal. MacArthur Lane hurdling and stopped short again. And let's say the Jets once before stopped Green Bay with the first down inside the 10. John Little, number 57, the bottom of the pile.
I think they have to go outside maybe. Those the Jets have really been clogging it up in the middle. They tried that before.
If I was Scott, I'd keep it. I'd quarterback sneak it in.
3rd down. Call it a long yard. Brockington. No contest.
That's where I go. Yep, you were right.
John Leon Brockington gets his first touchdown of 1973.
Superb athlete. Again, it's just a sweep. They pull one guard. Brockington has the speed to go outside along with that strength. You know, they try to run him in there. There's Gillingham again, 68.
But again, MacArthur Lane, too, cutting down that end.
He didn't need Gillingham, but MacArthur Lane did open it up for him to get outside. Then he just had a foot race to the outside, and he can win a lot of them, I'll guarantee you.
Okay, Chester Markle is on. And Green Bay extends their lead over the New York Jets to 23-0. 10:35 remaining in the game from Milwaukee.
This Magnavox Videomatic Color TV does what no TV ever did before Magnavox. Lights! Magnavox adjusts its own picture-to-changing room light automatically, constantly, to give you bright, true color. Plus, solid state and one-button tuning. Videomatic Color TV, a Magnavox exclusive. What a difference. Watching a Magnavox.
Goodyear makes the going great for you. With custom power cushion polyglass tires. The same popular polyglass tires that are featured on many new cars. Only Goodyear makes polyglass tires. And now's the time to put your car on America's favorite double-belted tire. The custom power cushion polyglass tire. Available only from Goodyear.
You know, Frank, it's something to be having this new journalist here up between us tonight. I have read his book, most of it, I'd say. And it's a combination, I suppose, between Edgar Allan Poe and Jack Park. What do you think, huh? It is a good book, Howard. I enjoy it.
You have developed an astonishingly new culture and literacy.
Well, it's all because of you.
Chester Markle gets the foot into it. Atkins will take it just inside the end zone. Margene Atkins.
He can run. He can slip. He can fall. He can do it all. I'm telling you, one of those days.
24-yard return. Kind of interesting, too. This is one of the few fields left, I guess, where they're playing on turf. And the NFL Players Alumni Group, headed by Leon Hart, have assigned a group to study artificial turf as opposed to regular turf, injuries, etc. They are going to study all the studies that have been made and try and come up with some kind of results. Dr. Danny Portman's on that group. Dr. Bill McCall and Bart Starr is there, along with Ray Nitschke. Okay, it'll be first down for the Jets. They're scoreless. They move from their own 25. Namath to Castor.
Fred Carr back in there, number 53. He was out in his linebacker drop. Caught Craster when he came across. Look at it, 58. The Clouds trying to hold him up. You'll see Fred Carr, number 53, circling back. He knows this ball's coming in there. Wide open spot right there in the middle.
Jets doing most of their damage at midfield. That's just about the only place they've been operating. They haven't even threatened tonight. Here comes Riggins.
Yeah. That didn't look too good.
In perspective, the Packers have to be pleased about this evening. Not that they have been spectacular, as Frank pointed out, they've been methodical. But that defense is a beautiful thing to watch. And Dan Devine has to feel especially good because this is his third year in charge of the club. Last year, he rebuilt the club in 2 years and made the playoffs with it. The Giants are virtually doing the same thing. You can do it. In a 26-team league, Giff, you can do it with the draft and trade.
All right, on second down and 10, Namath again getting wrapped up as he almost gets the ball picked off by Kenny Ellis.
Kenny Ellis is really something to that cornerback. Watch him lay back. He's timing that throw. And a good defensive back will do that. He'll give you the appearance that that receiver is going to be open. He's going to lay back in there, as Kenny Ellis did that time, let the quarterback throw, then make his move.
He's a great athlete. He was great from the day he came up. As we mentioned earlier, he's a fine kick runner. Turned the Green Bay-Detroit game around that we did a year ago with a kick run for a touchdown. He's too much.
Kenny Ellis and another pretty good character right now is Joe Namath. But the Packers know he's going to throw the football. They have really been popping him in this final quarter. Aaron Brown got to him on the last play. And yet he'll stand there and deliver it as he does to McClain. Over the middle, close to a first down is McClain. Tom McLeod, the rookie out of Minnesota, is there to wrap up McClain.
That was a good catch, Frank. That ball was thrown low in there. McClain held on to it. Some of the fans here at Milwaukee didn't think he did. Watch him come out of the backfield. Check for a blitz. Coming in there. There's nobody there. A little bit low. Woo! Cloud's making sure he's down.
I find McClain an interesting player. He's one of the 6 unsigned players, as you know, Frank. But a lot of people in the league think he has enormous running ability. Well, look at MacArthur Lane, a happy fella.
Important change for the Jets. Robert Woods, their rookie number 2 draft pick, has just replaced Bob Swias, who has been having a difficult time all night with Aaron Brown. That's it, left offensive tackle for the Jets. Butting both backs, and Aaron Brown got through Robert Woods. And he has been living on Namath all night long. I'll tell you, Aaron Brown is trying to earn a job. I don't know what has happened to Alden Richey. We have seen him off and on. He usually is in that position, but we have seen much more of Aaron Brown tonight.
I'll tell you, Aaron is playing like it's 1969 and he's with the Chiefs, because he used to be a devastating defensive end, and he has been all over Namath tonight.
Bothered by injuries at Kansas City, I know, a couple of years. He did play great football for him.
All right, second down and 10. Margene Atkins to the right. Jerome Barkum goes out to the left. Namath realizes he has to throw the ball. So does Green Bay. They come hard. Margene Atkins, did he hold on to it? No, he did not. He just got away from him. Willie Buchanan up for the coverage. There he is in 1958. Won his NFL title.
Again in 59, and then, of course, there was the miracle of 68 with the New York Jets. Well, on January 12, 1969, changed the face of pro football. The Jets 16, Baltimore 7. Now look at this.
This is what you can do when you know the team is going to pass. That's called, well, different names. They call it tango, but that really is the end interchanging with the tackle in the rush. Very difficult to block. 3rd and 10. Flag goes down. Namath went down. Barkum came up with the ball. Obviously an interference call. Was it offense or defense?
A couple of flags down, Frank. There's one back behind the line. It looks as if there's going to be a penalty against the Jets. The way they're kind of walking back with their heads down. And yet I don't know, because there's still this holding against the Jets, holding against the back.
Another sloppy game tonight, a lot of penalties. New York has had 7 for 69 yards. Green Bay now has had 7 for 45 yards lost. But the story is on the scoreboard. Green Bay, winners of the Central Division last year, losers to Washington in the playoffs, lead New York 23-0. 7:48 remaining in the game. Namath on the sure pass down. Puts Atkins out to the right against Buchanan. Barkum goes out to the left. He's up against Ellis. Castor opens up to the right. He's against Matthews. Here comes Aaron Brown. Barkum is open. He holds on to it. Inside the 20, out of bounds at the 17.
That was one time it looked like they either mixed up on that defense or they really did beat him, because Kenny Ellis appeared to be just standing there. Let's see what Barkum did to him. He faked the turn in and just beat Ellis.
Move on him.
That's what he did. He faked that inside move. The ball was a little bit underthrown. If that ball had been up a little bit more, that could have had a touchdown, because he was really behind him.
Barkum was a teammate with Castor at Jackson State. You can imagine the combination they were. Barkum was a sophomore. Castor was a senior. First down and 10. So far, the Jets' deepest penetration had been to the 15. They are on the Packers' 17 at the moment. This is Castor. And Castor moves inside the 10, down to the 7. Willie Buchanan made the stop.
You get the feeling when you watch something like that the Green Bay defense is, they said, okay, we're going to bend back a little bit. We'll let you have a little bit of that stuff. We've got us a good lead. Clock's running. Let's see if they don't get pretty tough down here.
There's Winston Hill. He was one of those who held out for so long. He, too, probably missed quite a bit of training.
You're limited from a quarterback standpoint, Frank, when you're down here at 10 yards and what kind of patterns you can throw because you got that end zone to contend with. You only have 20 yards to work in.
First and goal from the 7. Cliff McLean out in the flat. And he just gets back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe gets a yard. Driven out of bounds by Tom McLeod.
I was saying earlier, I find McLean an interesting football player. A lot of scouts in the league think he has enormous ability as we look at this play again. In fact, Cliff gained 120 yards and 10 carries last Thanksgiving Day when the Jets lost to the Lions. Now there is Cliff. But again, he is still unsigned, and I suppose not a very happy fella.
And Cliff McLean goes off. John Riggins comes in. Second down and goal. Ball just short of the 5-yard line. Looking for Barkham. Oh! And again, fine coverage by Kenny Ellis, fourth-year back out of Southern University. He's had a fine night.
He sure has. He's beautiful to watch. What position he had on Barkham.
Namath now 16 of 30 for 202 yards. And no points.
Exactly.
Riggins has carried the ball, rushing 2 times. I'm sure that was by design by Eubank. He's only been working out 2 days, and he's only gained 2 yards. Third down and goal. The Jets trying to avoid the shutout. 5:56 remaining in the game from Milwaukee. They lead 23-0. They'll try it again, and again, Kenny Ellis. Well, I don't know whether it's good coverage or Barker just couldn't hold it. But he was right there, Don.
Well, you see Ellis, but that's legal. He's used his hands to keep him to the outside. He's getting inside position on him.
It's perfect.
And that's where he wants to because he's got that sideline to play with in there.
All right, fourth down. No field goal attempt. Naturally, trailing 23-0. Barkham goes out to the left. Let's see if Namath is just stubborn enough to go back to him again. Margene Atkins to the right. Riggins and Boozer. Castor, the other receivers. Yeah. Uh-oh. Three great defensive saves by Ellis.
How do you figure those 3 calls? Doing it 3 times in a row, Don.
I guess it's the old adage, you just do it till you get it right. And
it's called your game plan, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know. You know that the double moves down in there close, I've always felt were the most successful kind of throws. You got the defensive back can't make a mistake just for a half step. So if you try to get them in there, man, it's the double moves that I thought was good. They made a mistake.
And we'll be back in Milwaukee in a moment.
What's the over and over shave? The way you really shave. 50, 100, 200 strokes every morning. Look at one isolated area. Over and over. That's why your face can get irritated. That's why Gillette developed Face Saver Shave Cream. Face Saver has 25% more protecting lubricants than the leading shave cream for smoother, more comfortable shaves. Face Saver, 25% more protecting lubricants for the over and over shave.
Nobody wants to look at underarm stains, but they're a real problem. You use an antiperspirant, you still get stains. Stains that won't wash up. Well, now there's a new antiperspirant. The first anti-stain antiperspirant by Right Guard. A new powder so effective, it helps stop wetness and stains. See for yourself. New Right Guard Powder Dry Antiperspirant. It's the first anti-stain antiperspirant by Right Guard.
3 straight times, Joe Namath tested Kenny Ellis, the defensive right cornerback for the Green Bay Packers, with Jerome Barkham. 3 times, Ellis made the play. Green Bay takes over. They lead 23-0, 5:44 remaining in the game. Changes offensively for Green Bay. Don Highsmith is in, number 32, and Perry Williams, 31. Those are the setbacks. This is Perry Williams, the fifth-year man out of Purdue.
Well, they're going to probably run out the clock or do as much as they can to do it. They've won the game easily, the Pack has. It's been no contest. That's the plain truth of the matter. There's the young man out of Southern University who's been so utterly brilliant, though one could reasonably question 3 consecutive same calls against that young man. Looks a little Floyd Patterson-ish, doesn't he, in terms of facial bone construction, at least from a profile view.
He's one fine football player, as are that entire secondary. Again, I repeat, only 7 touchdown passes against them last year. It's second down now and 9. Scott Hunter going all the way. Well, he either missed a call or decided to bootleg it. Dallas Howell drives him down at about the 7-yard line.
A lonely figure sitting on the bench with a lot to think about. A long season ahead, just one game, but so much to think about. Look at those statistics and not a point on the scoreboard. Wonderment about himself, probably, and wonderment about his team, about how deficient they have been tonight and whether or not they can put anything together for a satisfactory season. A man who's a superstar, really, the biggest draw in the game, but a frustrated, disappointed individual now at this moment.
I spoke of that shutout, Howard, back in 1971. Joe Namath did not play in that game, I've been informed. He has not been shut out in 75 games. All right, here comes Perry Williams, turning the corner, being driven out of bounds at the 15. Reminder again, coming up Thursday, September the 20th, Bobby Riggs and Billie Jean King. That's going to be a classic down in Houston.
Well, we'll be down there together, Giff, and there's a point I'd like to make. That match will be blacked out in Houston, and there are still good tickets available for it. Not that it needs any plugging. Riggs is the biggest plug artist in the history, I think, of the male sex, but nonetheless, it will be blacked out. Tickets are available. Green Bay fans are happy. They've got another first down. The clock will start to run. The score is 23 Green Bay, the New York Jets nothing. It has been a one-sided game, a doleful affair for the Jets, who entered it with high hopes and have shown so little, they're going to have to take a whole new look at what they've put together.
And both teams start to make some changes. Farasopoulos will get a breather, and Steve Tannen comes back in a free safety. Highsmith, 32. Williams, 31 of the setbacks for Green Bay. So Don Highsmith, obtained from Oakland during the offseason. 4th-year man out of Michigan State. Had a good preseason, too. Gained almost 200 yards. This Green Bay team is rather awesome. They're big, as Howard kept talking about earlier. Dan Devine has gone for youth. He cut Carroll Dale this past week. Irrevocable waivers. He was picked up by Minnesota. They only have 3 members of this team remaining that were involved in those Super Bowl games. Kenny Bowman, Gillingham, and Bob Brown. On second down and 8, here comes Perry Williams. And he runs into Ed Gallagher.
They're going to be in Dallas next week. Does anybody want to talk about that one? Except me? Huh?
Dallas and New Orleans.
Dallas and New Orleans, I guarantee.
Can you tell me you saw New Orleans play yesterday, Don?
I did see New Orleans play yesterday. I saw Atlanta play. I didn't see the New Orleans play very much, but I think they're saving it up for Dallas in our Monday night contest. They really got a whipping.
You know, that happened a couple of years ago, though, when Dallas won the Super Bowl. They lost.
They were upset by New Orleans, which was coming off a defeat, and a very, very strong defeat.
They came off one that was pretty close to embarrassing this past week.
We'll be there. That's the Cowboys and the New Orleans Saints next Monday night. Third down now and 7. Scott Hunter going all the way. Hands off to Highsmith. Gillingham out in front again, as he has been all night, with a fine block. Sowell's coming up to make the stop. Atkinson moving over.
Well, there's 28, Willie Buchanan. 76, Mike McCoy. That defensive unit has really been stalwart tonight. Stellar would be your description, wouldn't it?
Just real tough, Howard. They've just been real tough. They closed them out, but they should be really proud of that, because to shut out anybody is a compliment from the defense. So Heard it. There's Aaron Brown. Getting ready to go back in.
And that's the 2-minute warning. We'll be back in Milwaukee after this message.
Mercury Cougars like nobody else's car. But for $74, we've borrowed a little Cougar luxury and put it into our gas-stingy Comet Compact with a special custom option. You'll spot a bit of the cat in this Comet's glove-soft reclining bucket. The rich wood-grain vinyl, the thick carpeting, and the cat-quiet ride of steel-belted radials. Mercury Comet, the small economy car with a little Cougar in it.
They should be comfortable. Everybody knows that Hart Schaffner Marks makes the kind of clothes I wear.
But, Jack, not everyone knows Hart Schaffner and Marks makes the kind of clothes Scott Hunter wears.
You gotta be kidding.
I like clothes that are cut sharp, like this Saxony plaid suit from the Escadrille collection. It's pure wool, and I feel great wearing it.
Did you know that Hart Schaffner Marks make clothes like that?
They're great, Jack, even for old pros.
Interesting statistics. Green Bay having outgained New York only by some 30 yards. And they trail 23-0. What it is the offensive punch. And you're watching Al Woodall, the backup to Joe Namath, warming up the sidelines. We'll be seeing Woodall. Not really a fun spot to come into, I would say. Would you, Don?
No, it always amazes me. What are you going to tell a guy like that? So we're going to pull this thing out?
Whitby to Rocky Turner. Turner getting back just to midfield. 41-yard kick, 9-yard return. All right, Ed. Well, Woodall has had a pretty good preseason. 59% of his passes have been completed.
He had a great game against the Giants, if you'll remember, Frank, until an unfortunate jostle of the arm, which the Giants deserve credit, set up a series of interceptions that killed him.
All right, new setbacks, too. Mike Adamle is in. He's number 1, and Cliff McLean comes back in. Adamle gets the pass over the middle, and, well, he drops it, but he has not been in the game all night.
Well, he's a pro, Frank. He's paid to catch something thrown right into his arms at any time. I don't know how he dropped that football. He was all alone.
3 easy.
Yeah.
You run before you catch it.
It fits for the overall performance, though, so I think it's all right.
Yeah.
Adamle came to the Jets in a trade with Kansas City for Jerry Philbin, who, of course, moved on to Philadelphia. The crowd is starting to chant, "We want Joe." Joe will chant back, "We don't want you." Okay, here comes McLean on the draw. Second down, and he gets the first down. Coming up to make the stop, Al Matthews. There's Joe, and he's had a hard night under the likes of Aaron Brown. Again, misleading statistics. They just have not had the punch when they got into Green Bay territory. Clock moving, 1:19. 2 touchdowns. Brockington scored from in close, 2-yard line in the third quarter. Rather, in the fourth quarter. McGeorge scored on a Scott Hunter pass. There's Woodall going for Barkham. Ellison there again. Oh, what a night he's having.
I tell you, he ought to learn from watching the other guy. You're picking the wrong men over there with Ellis.
I just don't understand why they keep throwing that. It's unbelievable.
Maybe it's because it's the wide side of the field. You're always supposed to do that, you know. But look at Barkham. Barkham hadn't beaten him much all night, I'll tell you. Beat him one time on a good turn in and go. That Ellis is right there.
Minute and 2 seconds remaining here in Milwaukee, and we'll be back in just a moment.
What does Major Appliance Customer Care Service Everywhere mean? It means GE factory service centers in over 100 big towns.
And 5,000 independents like me in smaller towns.
Oh, it means you can call for an appointment for the morning or afternoon. And when I get there, 9 times out of 10, I got the part to fix it.
So the next time you're thinking about buying a new appliance,
remember who takes care of your old ones.
General Electric, America's #1 major appliance value.
Goodyear makes the going great for you. With custom power cushion polyglass tires. The same popular polyglass tires that are featured on many new cars. Only Goodyear makes Polyglass tires. And now's the time to put your car on America's favorite double-belted tire, the Custom Power Cushion Polyglass tire. Available only from Goodyear.
And from our Goodyear blimp, America, high above Milwaukee County Stadium, there you see some rather loyal fans. They're still here. The Packers leading the Jets 23-0. The Jets trying to avoid the shutout. They haven't been shut out, as we told you, since 1971, the fourth game of that season. David Knight now has come in for the Jets, the rookie from William & Mary, split out to the left. Adamle gets the draw call, gets a couple of yards, and then gets buried at the 37. And I say that considering Mike McCoy was on top of little Mike Adamle. McCoy, 6'5", 284 pounds. And the Jets will call timeout.
Yep. Woodall will run over to get critical instructions at the sidelines from the coach. And there's Johnny Staggers. Did a couple of things tonight. It's a happy group of Green Bay Packers. And there's Woodall getting those instructions. And if we could only have some of the action we had in Houston last year when we had the Houston-Oakland fiasco, maybe some help from the fans, we could have some fun. Number 42 is not disconsolate either, is he, Mr. Brockington?
He's had a fine night. Brockington had his first touchdown. He gained 81 yards in 21 carries. Rest of the scoring, Rich McGeorge scored from 20 yards out on a Scott Hunter pass. Markle hit on a 9-yard field goal, hit on a 37-yard field goal, hit on a 10-yard field goal. Hard to believe these statistics. Very close total yardage. Very close first downs. And she's not very close on the scoreboard. Green Bay 23-0, 48 seconds remaining in the game. Woodall underthrows to Adamle. Pressure from Bob Brown.
Well, I'll tell you. We go to Dallas next week, fellas, and then we're in Detroit, Atlanta, Detroit, and consistently through the years, they've had great high-scoring games. And then Dallas against Washington. I look forward, as I said, to seeing O.J. and the Buffalo Bills on our Monday night schedule for the first time against the Kansas City Chiefs. Miami against Cleveland. Miami against Pittsburgh. Washington against Pittsburgh. Those games are great.
Okay.
On Monday night.
And his fourth down now. Perhaps the Jets' last chance to avoid that shutout. Margene Atkins, underthrown, thrown off to the right. A flag is down. Clock indicating 39 seconds remaining in the game. Aaron Brown again in there with that pressure.
He was offsides, too, I think, Frank. That looked like it was a flag.
That's a good way to do it.
Yeah, that's one way to get the jump on him, isn't it? Leave before that thing is over. It has not been a good one, but just look at it this way. We got 12 more to look forward to.
There are some good ones. You know, I'm kind of looking forward to next week. Archie Manning is kind of an exciting player.
Yeah, he really is. It could be a good one.
All right.
Well, basic honesty rules that.
Never can tell. You can come back from 62-7.
Yeah.
Woodall again. And he hits Atkins.
Out of the way, he got it.
Down.
Kill the clock, too. They may say, but you know what?
Listen to Jim Hill, Don.
What's he saying?
He's getting into it with the referees. Are you going to let him push off like that?
At this point, I wouldn't think Jimmy would much care.
First down, New York.
There's Riggins. The last of the Mohicans is right.
Man, that is strange, isn't it? Probably start a new fad.
He didn't run any better than he did tonight anymore.
From the 17. And there we have it. But he hold on to it.
That was nice, Ellis.
David Knight. And this young man has had great hands throughout the Jets training camp, the rookie from William & Mary. Watch this now. He's been doing this all through the Jets training camp.
Well, they could have sure used him earlier today.
Yes.
I'll tell you, that was a good catch,
Great
Frank.
catch.
Because Ellis had his hand right in his face. That was right there. Well, now we'll have an onside kick.
27 seconds remaining. Bobby Howfield on. Shutout has now been inverted. Howfield through the uprights to make it 23-7. And Don is looking forward to an onside kick. I really wonder.
You wonder if they'll get one?
Green Bay, of course, anticipating the onside kick, will get the receiver types into the front line where they can handle the ball. It has to travel 10 yards before the Jets can recover.
You don't think they're really going to try an onside kick, do you? Ellis looked like he hurt himself there on that last play. He was limping a little bit when he got up.
I hope not. He's had a great evening. And I suspect, I take nothing away from David Knight. He's everything off the information we have that Frank has depicted him to be. A bright young rookie prospect. But I suspect Ellis was a little bit relaxed on that. I look forward to Thursday night when Giff and I will be coming to you from the Houston Astrodome. Billie Jean King against Bobby Riggs. And remember, for you folks in Houston, the event will be blacked out and you can still get good tickets.
Oh, did travel.
Wasn't that a dandy, Frank?
That's MacArthur Lane. Dandy Fine is taking no chances. He only leads 23-7. Give me a chance to tell you some of our fine staff that are involved in our Monday night telecast. Our director is Ted Forty. Our replay unit is directed by Joe Assetti. Our technical directors are Bill Morris and John Broderick. Associate director, Dick Buffington. Assistants to the producer, Howard Katz and Richard Harder. Our engineering supervisor is Roy Robbins. Our unit manager is Murray Schwartz. And, of course, our producer Don Olmeyer. Scott Hunter preserving the win as the clock runs out. And, as always, the executive producer of NFL Monday Night Football is Boone Arledge. There it goes. Ticking away and ticking, perhaps, away a long season for the New York Jets. A very optimistic season for the Green Bay Packers. There it is. That's the gun. It's all over. Green Bay defeats New York 23-7.
Cougar is on the move. The move up to a whole new class. The same size class as last year's Monte Carlo and Grand Prix, but only in size. For 74, Mercury Cougar is in a class by itself in luxury and elegance, because Cougar is like nobody else's car. Deep plush bucket seats, stylish new dash with hooded gauges set in padded vinyl, even an optional moonroof. Cougar is on the move, flaunting a new grille, steel-belted radio, standard. The elegant look of a new opera window framed by a Landau roof. Mercury Cougar moves up into a whole new size class for 74. Because we thought this much luxury deserves a little more room. At the sign of the cat.
Once again, the final score here at Milwaukee, Green Bay 23, the New York Jets 7. This is Frank Gifford along with Howard Cosell and Don Meredith saying so long from Milwaukee County Stadium, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Our blimp provided by the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. Air travel arranged through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. Chosen for travel by more sports teams than any other airline. This has been an ABC Sports presentation.
She's alone at a roadside diner. Her husband has disappeared, and they're coming after her. Cloris Leachman stars in Dying Room Only, the Tuesday movie of the week at 8:30, 7:30 Central Time on ABC.